50% discount on furniture, accessories, kitchen appliances, decor items, and anything else that you can think of to beautify your home. So they have stores in Asokwa, that's in Kumasi, and Spintex Road here in Accra, and a brand new branch at the Accra Mall. So make sure to pass by this week and get your share. And I've heard that the items are flying off the shelf, so make sure that you do not miss out on the 50% discount at Orca Decor, right? Orca Decor are doing this because they are 20 years old, and 20 years is no mean achievement to be doing business in Ghana. So yeah, congratulations to Orca Decor. And of course, we're happy about what they are doing by giving us a discount on their 20th anniversary. My guests in the studio this morning, Eric Delano Alifo is a private legal practitioner. He's the president of the Lawyers in Search of Democracy, and he's joined us here in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Yes, and I'm happy that you've joined us in the studio this morning. Also in the studio is Derek Ofori. Derek Ofori is a social advocate, or should I say social activist, advocate?
That would be fair.
That would be fair, right? Derek, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Today, I'm very happy to have both of you. Our third guest is Kenneth Ajay Crunchy. He's also a legal practitioner. He's not here in the studio yet, but I believe that when he gets here, we'll hear what he's got to say about the issues that we're discussing in the studio this morning. But as you can imagine, one of the biggest talking points is what's been going on with the Occupy Julobi House protest. A group calling itself Democracy Hub had planned to do a demonstration. The police had filed an application for injunction, which has not been heard yet, by the way, for that protest. And the police are of the opinion that once they filed the application, nobody should gather and even try to protest. So they went and arrested the protesters. And I believe that you are privy to all that happened in the aftermath of the police doing those arrests. Some of them are still in custody. We understand that some court processes will ensue today, and we'll see how all of that will play out. But let me begin with you, Derek, on this issue. You're a social advocate. I don't know if you support the demonstration that the protesters wanted to embark on, Democracy Hub. First of all, do you support the demonstration and the reasons for it?
Okay. Okay. So good morning once again. For demonstration, yes, I will support it in any day. But I also want to support it on principle that let us be clear with the intent and purposes and whatever we want to do with the demonstration, what we sought to achieve with the demonstration. So that is where I will support demonstration, but not any form of demonstration, since now we classify it, or that is even the state of the Constitution, that it's your human right to enjoy. So the fact that the Constitution grants you that permission to enjoy that right, not in any manner or form, that's I will support it. So when you put it in this context, I will support the call for the demonstration to also register their displeasure of the state of our country, but also to go to the extent that you want to occupy a particular place for 3 days. I think that point of the idea is overstretched, and for that matter, I would not support it entirely that let's occupy Jubilee House for 3 days. And I think that if it was just a day exercise that we want to do in a day, that's fair. But to say that let's occupy the Jubilee House for that 3 days continuous, I think that one is far-fetched for me.
I see. And what's your opinion on that, Counsel?
Well, good morning to you again and your viewers, and to all members of the Linsot Lawyers in Search of Democracy, and also to former President John Mahama. I say very good morning to him. Yes, my opinion clearly, I don't see anything wrong with the plan to occupy a particular spot for 3 days. They can decide to occupy it for a whole month. It's their own problem. If they think that they can do it and they can enjoy it, why not? They have the right to do that. So I don't think that I support that idea or that opinion that that may be overstretching the purpose of the demonstrations are supposed to make impact. If it's not going to make the desired impact, then it will be a complete waste of time. And so if they think that they have to be there consistently for a number of days or a number of hours or a number of weeks in order to make the impact that they have in mind, then they are free to do that. The law backs them to do that. And so I don't see any problem with that at all. And I will any day defend any citizen who wants to exercise their rights that are given by our Constitution. And so I clearly support what they plan to do. And I don't know if they are going to continue because they're supposed to be there again today and tomorrow.
Well, there have been some indications that they will try and continue again today.
Okay, yes, that would be very good. That's what they have to do. They have to sustain the pressure, and that's the plan. And we shouldn't let the police truncate the idea, because the police, we have issued a statement and said the police is being lawless. In fact, completely lawless in this situation. And it's very unfortunate that the police has been lawless for a few years now, especially under the regime of Nana Akufo-Addo as president. And that is very sad, because this is somebody that has been touted as a human rights activist, human rights lawyer, and he said all the good things when he was in opposition, And then now that he has come to power, we are seeing the worst type of autocracy that will be meted out to citizens by any civilian administration. So I think it's unfortunate that the police, I think the police though is doing this to just please the authorities. That's what I think, because I spotted 2 tweets from some of the leading activists of the ruling party, like Richard Ahyangba and I think Isaiah Kosiamenu or something, who were condemning the police that they shouldn't have arrested. Yes, and so I think this is a backlash to the police, even coming from the people they wanted to please. Although we still wouldn't know. These are not two big guys in the party anyway. So there are people who are bigger than them, and so whether there's information or instruction coming from other areas to the police to make sure that they stop the demonstration, we wouldn't know. But clearly, this is very common with the police, very usual with the police for some time now. They always run to court. And even in the past, they were going on ex parte application. Ex parte application, for those who do not understand, means is a one-sided application.
Yeah.
It means that they will not even serve the people who want to do the demonstration. They only run to court with their own application and then tell the court that we want these people because we think that this demonstration is going to breach the peace or whatever, blah, blah, blah. They give their reasons, and then they get a court order to come and stop people from demonstrating. They've done this for some time now, and it's very sad that we are in a democracy and we are going through a situation like this. So the police is becoming completely lawless, very, very lawless, and they are supposed to be enforcing the law, and if they are lawless, then it should be cause of worry for all of us in the country. And so that is my take on this.
Right, but Derek, I mean, you don't believe that occupying the Jubilee House for 3 days is necessary? Why though? I mean, I want you to get into that before we even talk about your opinion on what's been happening with the way the Ghana Police Service have handled this whole thing.
Okay, so my not using the word necessary, that occupying there is not it is, because that is how they intend to exercise their rights. So I do not fault them on that ground. But my point is that this is Jubilee House, and we know that is the seat of government, and it is also defined as a security zone. So allowing the number of people that they are putting up as the protestants to occupy the space that we've defined as a security zone for that long period.
I mean, they were not obviously going to be in the premises of the Jubilee House, but it's going to be around.
My understanding of it is to occupy Jubilee House for 3 days.
Yes.
So it is not defined in any other.
No, but they've explained it's not occupied because obviously they can't go inside the Jubilee House and occupy. Nobody is going to allow them to do that. But occupy Jubilee House or Julobi House. That's what they are saying. It's just the tagline that they've used to name, their protest because the Jubilee House is the seat of the president, and what they want to demonstrate about, they want the president to be aware of it. right? They want to send that message to the president. That's why they name it, Julobi House. And they want it to be around the vicinity near the Jubilee House, but not inside. Obviously, they can't go inside the Jubilee House.
Okay, so whether around the Jubilee House, my point is that not necessarily going inside. I know that one, it will not be granted that you should get access to the place and enter for 3 days. But whether being around the space for 3 days, because we know that around Jubilee houses, around that place, Afrikiko and that place, it's all part of the space that if they want to occupy. And you also look at, that's a busy road here in Accra. So if you say we should allow you to occupy that space for 3 days, I think that if it was yesterday's program that, we want to have this demonstration today, we want to occupy this space for maybe the whole of yesterday, that would be fair for me. But I'm saying that for you to go there, occupy that space, what happens to pedestrians? We are going to cause traffic there. So in as much as you are going to send a message to the president, you are also frustrating other people who are also going on their day-to-day activities. So that is my point, that if you want to send a message, go on demonstration. It is not only the space for you to occupy. You can be around any other place within Accra. And the president, if he's inside or if he's in the country, he will still watch you guys on TV. He will see it on radio. He will hear you guys on radio. He will see it on TV, because being around the place doesn't mean the president is listening to you. That's my point. So if they want to occupy that space, whether around Afrikiko, Airport, Kanda, or that place for 3 days, that's their energy and how they want to use it. So I don't have a problem. But I'm thinking that to occupy that space, you are also going to frustrate others. You are also going to have that effect on pedestrians that is using that route and others. So that's my point, that occupying that space for 3 days is too much for me. And then where you want to send a message to the president, the mode and approach differs, so they can choose to do it that way. But I think that if they had also prefer another way of sending that message to the president, it will still go to the president. It will still get the media to report it so that the president will listen. So that's my point on the space that they want to occupy for the 3 days.
Right. But what have you made of, what ensued yesterday? I mean, they getting there, the police coming in and, carrying all of them to various, police stations in Accra. And some of the reports that we're getting of, manhandling and what have you.
Okay, so that point, I think over the years, we've allowed the police to perpetrate this illegality and abuse of their powers for far too long. Because if they had sought permission, because even when you look at the Public Order Act, it talks about information, notify the police that you intend to embark on this demonstration. So if the police think that the approach that maybe, or the route that the conveners are proposed to use, they are unhappy about it, the law is clear as to what they are supposed to do. So I think that whatever happened yesterday is bad. And the police over the years have been consistent, demonstrate to us that they are incapable of controlling crowd. They are just incapable, and I don't know how they intend to deal with this situation, because any day, any time that we have demonstration in this country, this is how it will end. That the police will come in, brutalize them, and then they go scot-free. All what we hear is that, there have been disciplinary issues in there. Today, we will not hear about the outcome of those things. And that one, they get away with it all the time. So it has been an approach that we can go in, brutalize them because we are armed and we have what it takes to deal with it. They come with this pepper spray and hot water and all this stuff to do whatever they want to do, and they live with that. And nothing happens to whoever is responsible, the commander or the people that engage in that activity. To me, I think that whatever happened to yesterday, it is not new. Because if you look at all the demonstration that has occurred in this country, not even under Akufo-Addo alone, but all the other regimes, you see that is how the police over the years has handled the people that engage in those demonstrations. So I think that the police should be called to order. Whoever is responsible should be made to answer question why that is the approach. Because as to whether it is illegal or not, that is not how to start this demonstration or to start the discussion in the first place. Because the convenience of it sought the permission, they notify you on time, they have complied with whatever we have under the Public Order Act. specifically under the Section 1. They are clear on that. So if you look at the process that these people have adopted for the period that they intended to embark on this demonstration, and for you to get up the last minute to go to court and say that we have ex-parte application to even start with, that is even non-starter for this discussion. So I think that the police has just been abusive of the citizen. They are just abusing the powers and the trust that we have given them over the years, because at least you are the law enforcing agency. So if you are doing this, would you be honest, or would it be fair on your part so that you go back to say, I'm coming to enforce the law, when all the time you violate the same law that you want to enforce, and then come under these guys that, oh, we have ex-parte application. Come on, they should not insult us with those kind of excuses that's what they want to do. So I'm strongly against whatever happened is condemnable. It should not be said of a police service at this time in Ghana that you go for demonstration and this is how the police will respond to you. I think that's very bad.
Right. Ken Kranche has just joined us in the studio. He's a legal practitioner as well, and he's managing editor of the Daily Searchlight newspaper. Uncle Ken, good morning.
Good morning, Lantam.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yes, and thank you for joining us in the studio. Let's get right on into it. What has been your thought process as all of these events have been unfolding?
Well, I have been an agitator before. I've led many demonstrations. When during the sale of Merchant Bank,
yeah,
I led 5 demonstrations in 5 regional capitals. So I'm well versed. During the MPP's days in opposition, I was quite an active member in a lot of the demonstrations that was organized. We led some, we participated in some. Some of them we were beaten. Seriously, there's one popular demonstration where Gabi Ochidakun was shirtless.
Yeah.
He had been virtually stripped naked and beaten. I was quite close during that beating. I remember walking through Adabaka and I was virtually covered in mud, because what the police were doing was that they target the sand under our feet with hoses, hot water hoses. So it just jumps the sand and the water into the crowd like this, and we were at the forefront. So the little I can say is that it is time that we grew as a people. I think the last time I was here, I made that statement that as a community, as a nation, it is time that we began to grow. You see, the things we did in the 1990s, we are not expected to do them in the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s. It is a democracy, and demonstrations are part of the democracy. People demonstrate in front of the White House. They do it all the time. If that is the case, then people should be able to demonstrate in front of the Jubilee House without going through any level of harassment. You also, in saying that, you also have to keep at the back of your mind that in West Africa, we are not living in comfortable times. You understand? We have a history in Gabon, you have a history up there, you have a history all over West Africa of certain things taking place and doing certain things. I think that we as organizers of demonstrators ought to be mindful of the fact of the general lack of comfortability in the political milieu within West Africa at this particular moment in time, and also to be mindful that in fighting for your democratic rights, you also do not want to create an avenue for some crazy person to come within your system and to engage in any type of misbehavior. That place is the seat of government. And I fully support any demonstration, temper demonstration that takes place within that particular community. Because the police suspect there might have been an attempt, or there might be an attempt at violence or anything. I think they also have a reason to take action. In all this, both sides should have engaged in better dialogue and better understanding. Unfortunately for me, as a practical leader of demonstrations in this country, the fact of the matter is that if what had taken place yesterday